Welcome to the Community Difference-Rockwall. Powered by the Difference Media LLC. And sponsored by Delisa Lapinsky Realty Group. B1 Bank. Compass Facilities Consulting. The One Group with Town Square Mortgage. Barnaby Heating and Air. Minuteman Press of Rockwall. And by WeatherTech General Contracting.
The Community Difference-Rockwall was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals.
So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference-Rockwall starts now.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Community Difference-Rockwall. I'm Delisa Lapinsky, your host. I am your local realtor here in Rockwall with eXp Realty. I'm really excited today. We've got a fantastic show. If this is your first time joining us, this show is all about our community. So we'll be talking with business leaders, entrepreneurs, some of our charitable organizations, our ISD representatives, and talking about what's happening here in Rockwall. We have a topic of the month that we will discuss. And then we have rotating co-hosts. So I'm very excited for our show today. I've got my two co-hosts that are here with me. I've got Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press, and then we have Kayne Pierce with B1 Bank. Lyndon, can you go ahead and bring the guys in? Hey, guys. Well,
hey there.
Where'd Kayne go? We're having, there he is. There you are. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Really
good.
Did you guys have a good Easter weekend?
It was very nice.
Did some Easter egg hunts with my teenage girls. It's 17 and 19 and 20 still enjoy Easter egg hunts.
Oh, that's fun. Of course, we can make it an adult Easter egg hunt. With Never mind. This back here was my Easter project. This is what I did during the Easter week is I made a accent wall, I guess, if you will.
Looks good.
Well,
did you make it just for the show?
No, I didn't make it just for the show. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I will tell you, I think I am of the age. Well, my mindset is I don't want to pay somebody to do it because I know I can do it myself. But the mindset after this project has changed to I'm too friggin' old to be doing this because I couldn't walk for 2 days. You know what I'm saying?
And you know people that can do that kind of thing.
I know a lot of people that can do that. Exactly. Exactly. So, Christopher, welcome to our show. I'm going to let Kayne just introduce you and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, this is my good friend Christopher Steinsholt. He's here today representing the RVBA. That's the Rockwall Veterans Business Alliance, which is a kind of a subgroup of the chamber. He can tell you all about that. By day, he's a financial advisor, again, longtime friend of mine. He and I are actually both from, or at least most recently from, Shreveport, although he's a native Texan, so he's more of a Texan than I am. So, Chris, whenever we'll talk a little more about the RVBA.
Welcome, Chris. We really appreciate you being here on the Community Difference-Rockwall.
Yes, glad to be here.
It's interesting because I had served on the board of the RVBA a while back. So I was very excited to see you guys back up running because it's a phenomenal organization. Chris, tell us a little bit about you, your family, and RVBA.
Yeah, absolutely. As Kayne said, I'm a native of Texas. You may not like it, but it's Houston. I've heard some folks say you're better where you're at now, so don't go to Houston. But born in Houston, left Houston, probably about 10 or 11 years old. Mom and Dad took me north into Kentucky to take care of my mother's grandparents as they were aging. When that kind of came to a close, I moved to South Carolina, where I finished high school. And then from there, I had to kind of figure out what I was going to do for career and education and be able to pursue what I want. And I ended up joining the Air Force. And the Air Force took me to Barksdale Air Force Base, also known as Barcatraz in some cases, where I spent my entire enlistment there working on the B-52 bomber. And it was there really that I got my education. I picked up leadership skills. I worked in ways that I had never done before. And I think that launched me into a desire to not only in my professional life serve others, but also how can I serve the community that I am so that I can see the community grow with me for the benefit of not only community members, but my family. And so one of the things is I'm a family man at heart. I love the Lord, and I have been pursuing the build out of a family. And so Rockwall has proven to be an arena where I felt like my family could really grow and see success. And at the same time, I could then plug in and be able to give good service to the community at large. RVBA kind of came up quickly in the beginning. Donnie LaGrange was a gentleman that we met when we first moved to the area. And he pointed myself there, along with my wife, Natalie, who was prior military as well, and said, this is a great community organization to be able to bring veterans together so that we could promote commerce and education. So these veterans that are coming out of the service to be able to launch their own business. And we know small business and innovation is a huge piece of the puzzle. And you'd actually argue they're the leaders of what is going to take place for the future. And so when we connected with him, it reminded me of some work that I did in Shreveport with Military Support Foundation and some other items I did with the chamber there. And so it just seemed like a perfect fit. But what we found was that there was, I think, a timestamp where RVBA kind of, I don't want to say was deflated, but there was less activity. And so at any rate.
So, and we're going to get into deeper detail in that in a little bit, okay? Which is funny, you and I actually have a couple more things in common because I lived down in Houston for 9 years. Now, I'm originally from Dallas, but I lived in Houston for 9 years, and my brother used to call it the armpit of America, just because he did it. But I want to go ahead and bring on Frank's guest. Frank, we'll go ahead and bring in CJ or Clarence. Would you like to introduce CJ?
Sure. I've got Clarence Jorif with me today. He is a Rockwall City Councilman. He also owns a gun range in Nevada called the Compound of Nevada. And Clarence is an interesting guy. You could talk to Clarence for hours about his past and not get tired of the conversation. He was in the Secret Service and guarded Lady Bird Johnson for years. And he's definitely got an interesting story to tell.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good. So just real briefly, tell us a little bit about you and your family and kind of what makes CJ.
I guess the question is, how long do you have?
About 4 minutes.
Okay. Making fun of Houston. Born and grew up in New York City, believe it or not. Parents retired. Dad was a mechanic for the New York City Transit Authority. They moved down to Florida. I finished high school in New York. I moved to Florida. Was there probably about 2 years and was a sophomore in college, but it was one of those things where I needed to do something else. So I joined the military. Ended up here at good old Fort Hood, Texas. Spent 83 to 87, probably about a 4-year stint here. Went overseas to the Netherlands, was in the Netherlands branch office, which is a 2-man branch office. My specialty was criminal investigation. So the joke that I tell everybody is mostly everybody I met I locked up. So I didn't have a friend. But keeping the services pure, got an opportunity, got promoted to chief warrant officer, came back to the Pentagon, where I was assigned to Dick Cheney as Secretary of Defense, Colin Powell as Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff, traveled the world with those guys in some pretty nasty locations, and we all got out of there in one piece. Got back to the point where it's like, hey, it's time to go back overseas. And I'm like, sure, I'll go back to Germany. Yeah, no, Korea.
Yeah.
Didn't lose anything Korea. Wasn't trying to find anything Korea. Wasn't bringing anything back to Korea. Said no. So I was recruited by and joined the Arlington County Police Department, which our claim to fame is the Iwo Jima and Arlington National Cemetery. I was there with them for about 20 months, got picked up by the Secret Service, and the rest is history. My president terms, Clinton 1 and 2, GW 1 and 2, Obama 1 and 2, and I had the luxury and the privilege of finishing up on President-elect Trump. At the end of that, decided to retire, decided to come. The missus, you can blame the missus on this. She's the reason why you guys are stuck with me. She found Rockwall, loved it. We moved here in 2012, and you're stuck with us because we're not going anywhere else.
Well, that's okay, because we are happy that you guys are here. I was telling him before we came on, I swear you're everywhere. I'm coming out of the orthopedic one day, and lo and behold, there you are sitting there with your teenage daughter. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
She had done something stupid, as teenagers do.
And I'm still paying for that.
Okay, so guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our first commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about what's happening around the Rockwall area in our What's Up Rockwall segment. Okay, so you guys be thinking about it, and we'll be back in just a second.
The Community Difference-Rockwall is brought to you in part by Alan Lester, loan officer with the One Group with Town Square Mortgage. Delisa Lapinsky with Lapinsky Realty Group. Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press. Kayne Pierce, Vice President and Commercial Banker for B1 Bank. Charles Barnaby with Barnaby Heating and Air. Brian Decker with Compass Facilities Consulting. And Josh Small with WeatherTech General Contracting. If you, or someone you know would like to sponsor, or be a co-host sponsor of this show, or other shows like it, please give us a call at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com. And now, back to the show. What's up, Rockwall?
All right, welcome back, everybody. So let's talk about what's happening here in Rockwall. So I'll start out. We've got a couple of things that are going on. Lakeside Leaders is having their meeting tomorrow, and it's going to be at Standard Service. It's where 100 plus businesses come together, and we nominate and select a charitable organization. Everybody pays $100, and the goal is that we will be granting a charitable organization here that benefits Rockwall County $10,000. So I'm very excited because, and Chris, you'll talk about, we've got some special guests that are going to be joining us. But one of the organizations that's very near and dear to my heart, I know you guys probably already knew who I'm going to talk about, that's Patriot Paws. They have their very first annual clay shoot at the Dallas Gun Club on Friday. And so come out. I mean, I'll be up there all day. I'm not shooting. I do not clay. I go out and I shoot at the range, but I don't clay shoot. But we're just going to be hanging out there benefiting Patriot Paws. So, Frank, you got anything that's going on this?
I got a couple of things going on. This Friday is the Republican Women's Scholarship Fund first annual golf tournament. It's going to be out at Buffalo Creek. It's 11:30 check-in, 1 o'clock shotgun start. And if you have any questions about that, you can call Alma McClintock at 972-333-4847. And once again, that is this Friday.
Fantastic. What else we got?
And then the Children's Advocacy Center has their gala coming up Saturday, April 27th. It's their annual Go Blue for Kids gala. And you can contact Patricia or Farah for more information on that. Or feel free to call me and I can put you in contact with them. And then, of course, City of Rockwall's Founders Day is coming up on May 18th. It's going to be at Harry Myers Park. The headlining act starts at 6:30. It's going to be Mike Ryan and the Eli Young Band.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Pretty much all I've got.
So CAC had their kickoff, Go Blue for Kids, last week, which was a lot of fun. If you guys didn't go, you missed a great family event. All right, Kayne, what you got? What's going on that you're aware of?
Well, I was going to talk about the annual crawfish boil at Doty's that's this Sunday, but I just pulled up the website and they are sold out of tickets. So I guess that's a good thing for them. But the crawfish boil is always a big hit. There's going to be a bunch of people out at the harbor supporting that. And as a Louisiana guy, I have to promote the crawfish boils. That's all I had.
Well, and of course, I mean, we can't forget about the eclipse coming up. So what everybody's talking about, make sure you've got gas and groceries by tomorrow, or we may all be SOL. You know what I'm saying?
Who knows what we're going to do when it's dark for 30 minutes?
All right.
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. I've seen several of them.
I've been in the dark quite often myself too, so yeah, I got you.
I know, but they are making a huge deal out of it. I mean, they're canceling schools for Pete's sake. Come on. Hey, Chris, how about you? What do you know? What's going on?
Yeah, so in the real near future, we've got our VBA working with Lakeside leaders on Thursday, April the 4th at 5 or 1700. We got some networking. So really just trying to get folks to come out. It's a standard service. They're in the Heath area. And so, again, just driving veterans to a place where they can get good education and find a way that they can bring about, if they're just looking at starting a business, if they've already got a business, how do they do it? How do they connect with the local community? And how can they partner with the established community business owners and be able to get a launch, if you will, and then provide the services. So that's one thing that's coming up. And then I'll just always talk about Texas Valor Project. I work with those folks, find folks there. The annual clay shoot coming up in September. So we've already got our, we're already collecting dollars for the clay shoot there. So folks that have been a part of it or have not been a part of it should come out. It's a great time. So we're in the process of building that out.
It is a great time. I've been to the last two. That is something you definitely do not want to miss. I cannot wait to see who the live entertainment's going to be this year.
Well, I got a hint of it, but I'm not going to spill the beans yet. So
we'll talk offline. Either that or I'll call Chris Torward.
There you go.
All right, Clarence, what do you have that's happening, that's going on?
Well, with everything else going on, I guess the one thing I need to clarify is what is a business from Nevada doing here in the Rockwall group? Well, our roots started off in Rockwall on Justin Road. The opportunity to buy our own range came to light, and it turned out to be Nevada. That's why we're here. Delisa, you're talking about enjoying shooting. We have a pretty dynamic situation here. We got a lot of renovations going on. We have 16 pistol lanes. We have what's soon to be a 50-yard tactical outdoor shooting area with automated lanes, shotgun lane. We also have what's going to be a 5-lane, 50-yard pistol lane. What that'll have, it'll have moving targets going back and forth like an arcade to include our 50-yard line. And also with that, we have the first 200-yard lane here in Collin County and or Rockwall County, and we're only 15 minutes away from downtown, wherein you'll have your targets that actually you don't have to go down range anymore. We can sit there through automation and have your targets come out from behind what we call the tombstone. Put rounds on your target at the 50, you're done. We dial you out at 100. We can dial you out at 150. We can dial you out at 200. So a lot of things are happening here. So for those firearms enthusiasts, those gun enthusiasts, those people that just want to learn firearms, come see us, because that's my forte. If it goes bang, I teach it.
Well, I tell you what, yeah, I definitely want to come down and see it, because I go out to the range all the time, so I want to come out. All right. So, is there anything else that's going on, or that's big news here for Rockwall?
I've got.
Kayne's been awful quiet today. Come on, brother. There's a smile. Nice. Thank you. I feel better now. Thank you.
I'll add that the Rockwall County Men's Club, we're getting into a groove where we're going to do quarterly cigar dinners. We had our first cigar dinner just last week. It went off fantastic. A great way to bring folks together and, again, educate and then promote, how do we conserve what we have in front of us? And so that'll be happening quarterly. So be on the lookout for those invites as well.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, we've got a lot going on here in the Rockwall area. So I tell you what, I don't want to get into talking to you guys just yet, because we'd have to take a break here pretty quickly. So why don't we go ahead and do this? Let's take our break. We're going to take it a few minutes early, but when we come back, I really want to talk with Christopher and with CJ and really kind of dig in a little bit deeper about, what drew you guys to this area, about your business. I mean, CJ, I think it's pretty obvious coming from Secret Service and why you go pew pew. But we're going to talk a little more in depth about that, and then we'll get into our topic of the month. Okay, so guys, stick around. We will be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
JP Direct Health offers affordable health insurance solutions for individuals, families, and small businesses specializing in custom coverages to fit your needs and budget. JP Direct Health offers comprehensive benefits, including PPO health plans, accident and critical illness coverage, dental and vision, health matching accounts, along with telehealth at no cost per call. Call JP Direct Health today to learn more about how we can help you protect your health and your budget.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond. Let us get it out of the dust.
Frisco Fighters prepare to reach new heights at Comerica Center this spring. From competitive matchups to exciting theme nights, you won't want to miss a second of the action. Join us and experience high-scoring, hard-hitting indoor football that's fun for the whole family to enjoy. Visit FriscoFighters.com for game highlights, tickets, or to reserve your spot at the Tarmac Tailgate Party. Frisco Fighters, fly with us.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111. Are you a business owner looking to grow your company? Get fast, easy financing up to $5 million with no minimum FICO score required. Apply in 60 seconds and get funded in 24 hours. Call Jim Thomas at 214-629-7223 to talk to a financing professional today. Your business's future is waiting. So don't delay. Call now and tell him that you saw him on The Difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So we're going to just start this with a roundtable discussion, and anybody feel free to jump in at any time. But both of you gentlemen are obviously very involved in our community, very much involved in what's happening. So what advice would you give someone that was looking to become more involved in the Rockwall community?
Go ahead, Chris. I'll defer to you first.
All right, Chris.
All right, I can go first with that. I'll say that I think this kind of spurred from my time in the military. In the military, you were given extra responsibilities, and in doing so, you quickly became connected with other folks, and then realized through those connections you could get a lot done. And so when I stepped out of the military, I realized that I didn't automatically have those connections, and so obviously from a business standpoint, it makes sense to do that. And as I leaned in, I realized that there were great opportunities if you just opened yourself up. If you just said, hey, I'm available and I'm willing and inclined. And then if you move naturally based on your skill set that you've got under your belt, then you can easily be able to say, yep, I can take care of that, or I can provide that service, or I can get that specific thing done. And so that's really what's a good advice for me would just be, let the natural skill set that you have and a willingness of service be the impetus for it. And I promise you'll find that there's opportunity for you to help. So in most cases, it's been brought to me to say, hey, would you be willing to do X? And in a lot of cases, I'm able to say yes.
There have been very few people I've seen move to Rockwall that became as active as Chris has been. I see him everywhere. He is in every organization, participating in every event. I see him all over the place. So you're doing a good job at it, man.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And same thing with CJ. You know, every time I turn around, I think I see him as well. You know, Chris, I see you at a lot of events, and CJ as well. So what advice would you give someone who is wanting to become more involved locally in our community?
So I need to give kind of a historical background on that to answer that question. From small, don't hold it against me, born and grew up in New York, my parents were always of the mindset of community service. There's always somebody in a worse situation, or could always, not so much worse, but could always need just that hand to help out. So I started serving the community, serving others from small. It progressed to, kind of like Chris said, to the military. I was smart. I didn't volunteer for everything, but I was always in a mix of something going on. Decided to retire back in 2017 time period. And that word didn't last very long because I started two businesses. The compound, at that time, it was the compound at Rockwall, which progressed to the compound Roy City, which is now the compound Nevada. But there's also another business, which is the compound security services, where we provide investigative services, process service, you name it. So there was never a retirement. Great. Embedded in the community, doing this, doing that, through the church. December, my dad passed in September of 2020. Right after Christmas, I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and I see a newspaper ad, and it's like Rockwall City Council, upcoming elections. And I started thinking to myself, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why didn't this happen? And that energy to engage, I'm like, you know what? I called a couple mentors, met quite a few people in the community, and said, hey, I can make a difference. I can make a difference there. That's why I decided to run for city council, ran in a 5-person race and was a clear outright winner when all the dust was said and done. But I chalked that up to people recognizing and knowing what I could bring to the table and allowing me to do that on behalf of everybody. So like when you talk about, well, I'm here, I'm there, you have to. My wife's like, not another thing. I'm like, you know what? If I make the time and I budget my time and I manage my time, it can happen. So when it applies to others, there's something that you can do. Burn off a little energy, interact, engage. I'm also the president of the Rockwall County Hispanic Club, Republican Hispanic Club. So it's always something that we can do to make our community better. And I'm all in.
Well, and I think you're right, because we all have a responsibility for making our community better. I mean, we all want to say, well, I don't like that or I don't like that. But then what are you going to do
exactly
to make that positive change? And that's why I've gotten involved with so many of the organizations I have and in the networking opportunities. But when there are things that you are passionate about, and that's finding those things that you are passionate about, passionate about veterans, passionate about working with Patriot Paws. Those are things that for me, it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do because it's something that I love. And then ultimately it does make our community a better place to live.
Yeah. I think a lot of people that maybe have a heart for certain issues don't end up volunteering because they think they don't have time. And I don't know, I've always found like the best volunteers are the busiest people. And it's not really possible to have time, but it is possible to make time. So it's something I always try to encourage people about. If they seem passionate about something, inevitably it's like the first thing out of their mind, well, I don't know if I have time for that. If you make time for it, you will. There's definitely time.
Somebody, one of my business coaches years ago said something to me, because I actually often said, well, I don't have time for that. And their response was, you make time for those things that are important to you. So, I don't have time to go work out at the gym. Well, okay, then it's not important to you. I don't have time to volunteer. Then it's really not that important to you, because if it is something that is important to you, you will make the time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. I mean, yeah.
That is true.
That is true. So what is it that you guys love about our Rockwall community? And then if there's anything, is there anything that you would change about it besides the traffic? We all hate the traffic.
Hey, I'm working on it.
But what is it about our community that, and this is for everybody, what is it about the community that you love, and what are some of the things that, you would like to see done differently?
So I'll jump in if you don't mind, Chris. When we had the opportunity to move to Rockwall from California, we looked at the Trophy Club area, and then I had a phone call with the realtor, and I was soured real quick because as a former polygraph examiner, actions speak louder than words, but the words that were coming out of her mouth, they weren't congruent. So I told my wife, find someplace else, but we're going home to Texas. Granted, Texas isn't home, but it is home. She found Rockwall, and on a couple of my trips from LA to DC, I can tell this story now because I can't get in trouble anymore, but I would always miss my flight on my way back to LA at my own expense to be able to check out the area. Driving across the bridge on 30, coming across Lake Ray Hubbard, it was like, this is Shangri-La. This is something different. But making contact with the people, just dealing with the people over here at Drees, just the folks at the different shopping, it was something different. I mean, everybody was warm and friendly. Now, granted, this is Texas. Things are a little bit different from other states, but people make a difference. The community makes the difference. The people that are in the community make a difference. So our first connection there with everyone has always been very friendly, very outgoing, very receptive. That's what makes Rockwall home for us. And I jokingly said before, you guys are stuck with me now. I'm not going anywhere. It's true. Because
Nice.
the differences that we can make here through positive leadership, thinking ahead to the future. You're joking about traffic. Yeah, it is an issue. But guess what? Failure to plan led to a plan to fail. I don't know failure. So looking at how we can make the necessary changes to make life better for everyone, you can't make everybody happy. But if you got a plan, you know what you're going to do, or at least you reach out to those resources around you, there's always an option. There's always an option.
I like that. I like that.
Well, I'll second that as far as the caliber of the people. I had the opportunity to experience Rockwall because my best friend Kayne had moved here in advance of me and made a pitch that I should check out the area. And the people have been overwhelmingly welcoming, meaning that there's actually a genuine desire for them to reach out and want to get to know you. And I don't know that I readily experienced that as I separated from the military and got connected into the community that I was in Shreveport. Not talking bad about Shreveport, just different climate. But coming here, it was almost like everybody wanted to know, what was your name? Who was your family? What work did you did? What did you like? What did you not like? And then said, hey, come on in, the water's warm, And I was like, all right, I think I'm surrounded by a group of people that I can link arms with and then, move forward with. And so the community, the demographics, and aside from the growing pains, of course, I've experienced what the city looks like where it doesn't have growing pains, it's actually not growing. Aside from the growing pains of it, I kind of got to the place where I said, would I not offer this to my family? Would I not bring this to the table for them, for their benefit? So they may spill out into that as young adults that will become young leaders, which again, I think that's the whole drive too behind me. And what I'm doing is to serve the community and then let my family see that I'm serving so that becomes a replicated process.
Now, Kayne, coming from Louisiana, our neighboring state, what brought you to Rockwall, and what is it that you just love about this area?
Oh, it's so much exactly what Chris said. I mean, Shreveport, for example, where I'm from, it's a dying economy. It's home to me. I love going to see my friends and all the familiar old restaurants and the things that you love about your hometown. But negative population growth, struggling economy, no high quality jobs. You're kind of just in a very small pond there. And so, I think just like Chris said, looking forward. When my kids, it was before they were at driving age, I thought, you know what, I don't think I want them driving around Shreveport. It's a little bit dangerous here. And what if they could grow up, in a much safer area? And so I started looking at areas all around DFW, and I selected Rockwall before I ever stepped foot in Rockwall, just based on what I was able to read. Politically, economically, even geographically, it just made a lot of sense to me. So this place, I settled on this place before I ever came to look at a house, and before I, decided I was going to work for B1 Bank. So it was just really, really neat that Rockwall shines even on paper. And then when you get here, as everyone knows, as Chris said, the people are super welcoming. I've only been here for 3 years and 2 months now, and this feels like home.
Yeah.
This does feel like
Frank.
I'm sorry. It was just like Johannesson always says, you want to be the last person to move to Rockwall. You want to shut the door on the way in, right? Because you don't want any more traffic. But it just doesn't work that way.
And and Rich, you made a good point. Do we want to be a part of a thriving, energetic, dynamic community, or a dying community? So yes, there are a lot of pains with the growth of Rockwall, and I get it. We are all going through it, but I mean, I'd much rather have that in the dynamic, growing, thriving, great economy that we have here than a negative population that Shreveport's experiencing. Now, I remember, okay, so I've been out here for 17 years. So I guess it was probably about, and I was trying to remember this the other day, about 4 or 5 years prior to me moving out here. I remember, same thing, driving across the 30 bridge. Now, it was on a Friday night and it was raining. And it was not a fun trip, I'm just going to tell you. But what I do remember is just coming across the bridge and seeing the lights at the harbor and just almost being transported into this magical kind of feeling. And at the time, I really wasn't even thinking of moving. And I was like, okay, but I really loved it out here. It really was just a cool community. And sure enough, a couple of years later, it's like I had the opportunity. I was like, I know where I'm going. I already have experienced where I want to go. Now, Frank, you've been here for a long time as well.
I have. In the summer of 1984, I worked at a summer camp out at Possum Kingdom Lake. I was there all summer, didn't have a whole lot of contact with my family. Came back home for my senior year and pulled up to our house in East Dallas, and there was a realtor sign in the yard. And so I went inside and I said, why are y'all selling the house? And they said, oh, your sister's going to start high school and she's not going to go to Bryan Adams High School. So we're moving to Rockwall. You're going to love it. It's a great town. So since 1984, we've been here, and I've left to go to school and felt like I needed to live in Dallas for a while, and ended up meeting my wife, moving back here, and been here ever since.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to live in Dallas anymore. You know?
And I'll tell you what, from 1984, Rockwall still has the same feel. The first time I came to Rockwall, still has the same feel, even though it's 10 times busier in Rockwall. That's the benefit to this town. It's a bigger town. You can get anything you want in Rockwall, but it still has that small hometown feel.
So I don't know what the population was back in 1984, but I do know in 2004, it was just over 29,000. And then currently we're at almost 56,000. Yeah. So there has been a lot of growth out here in Rockwall, you know, and so you will have those things. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So guys, we're going to take a real quick break. And when we come back, we're going to really dive into our topic of the month, which is the role of innovation and creativity in driving growth and success for local businesses. So stick around and we will see you in just a couple of minutes.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
Okay, so we're going to dive into our monthly topic, and it's interesting because the difference is really, yes, we are a podcast, but we're also a business development, and this is one of the things that we talk about because let's face it, I'm a realtor. Kayne, you're a banker. Christopher, I know you're financial advisor, right?
Yes.
So we're a dime a dozen. All right, how do we separate ourselves from all the other people that do what we do? How do we make our stuff, how are we innovative, or how do we make ourselves stand out amongst all those other people that are in the same line of business as we are? Who wants to jump in?
I'll jump in there.
All right.
Like you said, in my business, a dime a dozen. All I have to do is call people back, and I'm pretty successful. So many people don't. Just returning calls and being conscientious of customers' needs. I think that's the biggest part. In terms of being innovative, there's nothing all that exciting about how the flow of money. It's not that complicated, but we can be more creative. We're at the right size bank where we can structure deals a little more creatively. It's not just a yes or no. It's how do we get to the solution? What's the best way to get there? It doesn't have to be accepted or declined. There's other ways to enhance deals to make it work, that make it a mutually beneficial win-win. So I think that's important. Of course, the technology piece is great. You can make deposits right here from your phone now. That's super cool. We've got the ability to allow our customers to use ATMs, throughout the country at no cost to them in various ways. So it's little things like that that just make doing business easier. But I still think the best way to do business is just by being a real person, returning phone calls and providing good service.
So that's interesting because that's one of the things that we've been talking about a lot here between our co-host and our host is that behavior branding. And like you said, we do business with people we know, like, and trust. And you said, well, I pick up the phone and I call people back. Same thing with realtors. I can't tell you how many times, well, they never answer their phone. That sets you apart, but that's also your behavior in what's making you different,
That and doing what you say you're going to do and the time you're going to do it is very important because there's so many people that just flake out on customers. And I try to handle everybody, whether it's a $5 order or a $5,000 order. I try to take care of everybody the same.
Yeah, customer service, and how do you bring value even beyond the cost? Because I think at the end of the day, the only time somebody gets upset with cost is if there's an absence of value.
That is so true. That is because you haven't shown your value.
Right.
And what is your value proposition? What is your value statement? And then being able to live up to that. Because we can all say, well, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And you're like, oh, great. Okay. That is so absolutely worth it. That is what I am needing. That is the approach I want, that is whatever it is. And then you fall short. Now, all of a sudden you haven't provided the value that you said you were going to provide.
That's where that, and I mentioned this before, those actions speak louder than words. To give a little plug to Frank, Frank's one of the first people that I met when I got here to Rockwall. We needed business cards and such in promotion of my business. Frank was so accommodating, his staff. That's when I first met his son, Tyler, Leah. It was like This is like dealing with family members. I need, don't worry, I got you. So being a customer service representative, and that's what I've been for the last, 41 plus years, I'm providing a service always to someone. That service has been through law enforcement, either personal protection. I'm putting myself out there for someone else. Law enforcement, I'm wearing that uniform. I'm putting myself out there for someone else, all of you. But at the end of the day, I have one job to do. And this may sound egotistical. I got to take care of me. Because if I can't deliver for me, I can't deliver for any of you. Same thing with this business. The one thing you can guarantee when you walk through the door is safety. Oh, well, it's just a gun range. We're going to go down there. We're going to do whatever we want to do. And nobody's going to hold us accountable. No. You have people walking through that door that want to go someplace that's a safe environment that either they can shoot and have a good time, learn, have a good time, bring their family, bring their kids. And the one thing, and Frank can take credit for this also, we have rules and regulations signed. 36 different items, because I've seen them happen here under previous management. If I tell you that you're doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong. What I find is, well, I didn't do. I don't have time to pick on an individual. I just need to deliver this good to everybody that walks through the door in the same fashion. So what do people do? Oh, they give you a 1-star. You did this, you did that. But when you look at the list that I can't even count of, we had a great time, safe environment, clean environment. That's what I deliver every time. So that's what boils back to the actions speak louder than words. But knowing that you're coming to some place that you can enjoy yourself and be safe there, that's what matters to people across the board. Plus, we're economical.
So, and that's kind of interesting because it kind of leads into another thing that I was thinking about is how does collaborating with other local businesses. So obviously you were collaborating with Frank, but other local businesses and community groups and other, institutions that are here in the area. How does that fuel the innovation within your company? How does that fuel or drive your innovation? Because, and I know for me, I have to listen to what my customers are wanting because they're going to tell me what I need to be innovative in and then not worry about messing with all the other stuff. Because I may say, oh, I need to be innovative in this, but that's not what they're wanting. So how does collaborating with other businesses and groups drive and fuel that innovation?
I'll jump in. Piggybacking on what I said before, and that collaboration with people like Frank. Granted, Kayne, I need some money, but I know you'll help me out if you can, but I won't go there right now. The RBVA, word of mouth, that's our biggest selling factor for all of our businesses within the RBVA. I know that if I have a problem, if I need somebody, I can pick up the phone and cheap pluff for Jeff Skinner. Hey, Jeff, Black Level AV. I need. Hey, CJ, call this guy. Hey, Mike Ranigan, Doc's Roofing. I need. Call this guy. Hey, Doc, I need my roof replaced. This happened. Don't worry about you. I got you covered. I've dealt with a lot of contractors here. Mike had 40-something people outside my house. My roof was replaced within 8 hours. 8 hours. Done. Not stuff left in the driveway, not stuff, nails and tires. It's that word of mouth and delivering and that credibility that helps. Yeah, the advertising, the signs and all this other kind of stuff, but we are our own proponent for making us better and getting our names out there. That's what matters the most.
I'll run with that. Because when we talk about, as I'm thinking about it, collaborating with other businesses obviously allows for some economies of scale. And then when we talk about innovation, I think the more that we pursue either new new products, new services, creating efficiencies. What we're really creating is a space to provide greater opportunities to build the relationship. And so if we can deepen the relationship, if you can deepen the bench with the people that you've connected with from a business standpoint, then you've got quick, easy access to be able to get the job done. Get it done well, provide over and above from a value standpoint, and at the end of it, establish a new relationship, because now you've brought somebody else in that said, man, I've been well taken care of, and then that word goes out. And I think ultimately, Rockwall, that's what we're doing. We're inviting people in. Let's do a good job, and over time, innovate and enhance what we're already doing, or create new products and services that will make life even better as we travel forward.
No, yeah, and I think you're absolutely right, Christopher. I think you're absolutely right. I think, though, you do need to sometimes be cognizant of not chasing that shiny penny. Yeah. We've all gone down that rabbit hole. I mean, we've all gone and chased that shiny penny. And that's why I really like collaborating with the businesses that you know, that you trust, to help you become more innovative within the Rockwall community. Kayne, you look like the wheels are spinning. I can see it.
Well, my screen all of a sudden went just totally black, and I thought, well, I guess I've been picking up the show. And then I realized it was just my lock screen. I hadn't touched my computer in too long. Well, so the recurring theme we're talking, it's kind of funny. We're talking about innovation, but it does all come back to relationships, and that's kind of interesting, right? Because I guess maybe if we were all in really tech-heavy businesses, maybe the conversation would be different. But what we're all really in is the relationship business, all of us. And so it's, the innovation's great. The little bells and whistles we can add to make life easier, that's all great. But people do business with people they like, as was said earlier. So it's kind of neat that it's still old school in that way.
Well, yeah, and I had a situation today. I'm just going to give a shout out to Victor Cantu with Toro Steam Cleaning. I mean, we had a situation. I've got a listing that is getting ready to go active. We had one of those oops moments right before we're supposed to go active. I called Victor and I said, I need your help, because we've got this huge mess. The cleaning people had spilled a whole bunch of dirty water on the brand new. They had just been out there and cleaned the carpets. And, because of the relationship that we have, because of the relationship not only in supporting each other's businesses, but then seeing each other out at different events and being in different networking groups. I mean, his response is, absolutely, I got you. I know how important this is. I will take care of this for you. Let me help you out. And if you don't have that relationship, I could have been put at the back of the line and said, yeah, we've got a spot next Wednesday and we'll see you then. Do you see what I'm saying? So those relationships are critical. They really are. Now, yeah, I use technology. I got ChatGPT where I've got our rapid fire questions and I use that, but I want those relationships, because I know when I've got a problem that I've got people that I can call that I know that are going to help support me in my business. Mm-hmm. So looks like we lost Clarence. I know he was having some technical difficulties a little earlier. We'll see if he's able to hop back in. Hopefully he'll be able to hop back in, because he's going to miss our rapid fire questions if he does. So with that, guys, we're going to take a real quick break. We're going to come back and we will have our rapid fire. Now, like I said, we're going to have a lot of fun with this, and we will see you back in just a minute.
The Community Difference-Rockwall is brought to you in part by Alan Lester, loan officer with the One Group with Town Square Mortgage. Delisa Lapinsky with Lapinsky Realty Group. Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press. Kayne Pierce, Vice President and Commercial Banker for B1 Bank. Charles Barnaby with Barnaby Heating and Air, Brian Decker with Compass Facilities Consulting, and Josh Small with WeatherTech General Contracting. If you, or someone you know would like to sponsor, or be a co-host sponsor of this show, or other shows like it, please give us a call at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Rapid fire.
All right, let's go ahead and have a little fun. We're going to do some rapid fire questions. I'm going to ask a question. It is just going to be a 1 or 2 word response. Don't think about it too much. And if you want to pass and think about it, and then we will skip you and come back around, okay? So, I use this one as kind of an example, but I love the response I got. Okay, so pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Nay.
We'll go ahead and start with you. Good, that's unanimous. Yeah, that and anchovies.
I just got to order that at Sammy's this last week. I almost called the police.
All right, so hey, now we're gonna, Christopher, if you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, what would you have a good chance at winning the medal for?
I know what it's not, Chris. Bulgarian split squats.
No, it's not that one. What's the one where you send the little ice, almost looks like an ice puck down the, what's that called?
Curling.
Oh, curling.
Yeah. And you get on the front side of it and you kind of rough up the ground that it's on to put it where you want. Maybe I could win that.
All right, Kayne, how about you?
Oh, gosh.
Turn
Olympic
any
sport.
activity into an Olympic sport.
Yeah. I think for me, it'd be like eating pizza. I mean, I'd be an easy shoe-in, right? I'm just
There you
gonna
go.
do that. Possibly that or smoking cigars. Either way, I'm in. Definitely going to medal.
All right, well, mine would be napping. I love taking a nap. I am good with doing naps. And when I take a nap, let me tell you something. It's hard. All right, Frank, how about you? What is one activity you could turn into an Olympic sport?
Golly, that is a tough one. I may have to pass on that one unless I just piggybacked off Kayne and said cigar smoking.
Well, I can see
beard growing, you know.
Yeah, beard growing.
Yes. All right. So beard growing would definitely be yours. Okay, Frank. I don't know of anybody that has a fuller, better beard than you do.
Agreed.
You make Aaron Withrow jealous. All right. So if you had to eat one cuisine for the rest of your life, what would it be? Kayne?
Wings. I love chicken wings.
Gotcha. All right, Christopher?
You know, I'm a sucker for tortillas, so really anything on a tortilla, burrito, anything on a tortilla is fantastic.
All right, Frank, what would yours be?
I would go Mexican or seafood. I could eat crawfish any day of the week.
No. Mine's Mexican, hands down. That is a no-brainer for me. And I'll do Mexican. Now, you got to make sure you have the margaritas with it as well, but, All right. If you could have a front row seat at any concert, who would you see? Frank?
Repeat the question.
If you could have a front row seat at any concert, who would you go see?
It probably wouldn't be Taylor Swift. There are a lot of them I would like to go see. Probably, gosh, that's tough. I'll pass on that. There's too many going through my head. I couldn't narrow it down to just one.
Chris?
No, man, it had to be, I don't much get into that world, but my dad did. And if he was still living, I would go see Journey or like Led Zeppelin when they were still playing. I'd go with him and see that. It'd be great.
My generation. Very good. All right. Kayne?
Journey was what I was going to say too. I know we've got some new guys in the group, but I still would like to see them live. I mean, they're pretty incredible, and I would definitely take that opportunity.
Okay, now
I got to see them in their heyday, and they were great.
Oh yeah, no, and they were really good. I'm gonna probably freak y'all out because there's actually two that I would love to see. Now, I wasn't around when they were famous or anything. I would love to have seen Elvis in the heyday. Love to have seen Elvis when he was doing that. And Patsy Cline. My grandmother loved Patsy Cline. I remember growing up and seeing her, and I was like, oh, that woman could sing. Now, Lyndon just put in the chat, he wants to go, he would see Stevie Ray Vaughan, and that's another one, a good one as well. That is definitely one that you would want to see.
Now, Delisa, would you pick Fat Elvis? Fat Vegas Elvis?
No,
or would you...
oh, hell no. No. It's got to be skinny Elvis, you know, when he was doing the movies. I mean, come on. No, Fat Elvis, no. All right. Favorite, if you could go out and buy any car today, what would it be, Kayne?
Ooh, that's a good question. I am about to buy a new Tundra, but I guess if I had just unlimited funds, I don't know. I mean, I would like a little sports car to go around in on the weekends only, something like that. Maybe some type of Aston Martin. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be nice. All right. Chris?
So like right now at my age, I would love to go get like a really nice Porsche Spider. I think that would be great. But the one car that I've wanted and hope to have one day is a 1969 Dodge Charger with the Hemi, apple red with the black vinyl top. I think that'd be fantastic.
You're going old school, old muscle car.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's right.
My grandmother had a 64 and a half Mustang, you know, when they first came.
Oh, yeah, half year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, you know, and this is grandmother. I was like, you're too old for that. All right. Frank, how about you?
Back in January, I just got another Jeep, and they make a Jeep now that they're putting a Hellcat motor in. And that is probably what I would really like to have is the Jeep with a Hellcat motor in it.
Isn't that called the Helephant? I think they call it the Helephant because, you know, every one of those Chargers has like the Scat Pack and then the Demon. But I think the Jeep is called the Helephant.
I think you may be right. It seems like I heard that.
So
they want a lot of money for that thing, though.
Yeah. All right. So mine would be a Porsche 911 GT, preferably a cup car, preferably the one that you won his championship in. I would love to own that car, and that would be the car that sat in the garage. So yeah. All right, so we're going to just do one last question and then we're going to wrap it up and we'll tell everybody how they can reach out to you. What's the most creative use of emojis you've seen? Y'all, I love the fact that they now have the emoji where you can flip somebody off. Come on.
So I've, a group chat with all the teenage girls that live in my house, and there's lots of emojis that fly around. I'm not sure how creative it is, but the one that I always use is the one with the guy's just like, that's right. Face palm. That's the one I enjoy the most.
Yeah, see, I don't have to now say the word. I can just send them the emoji, It's like, get the message. All right, so we're going to go ahead and Christopher, thank you so much for joining us today. I know Clarence he was trying to jump back on.
Is he backstage? Is he backstage right now?
No, he's not. He hadn't made it back on.
Yeah, he was able to get back on. Yeah.
Well,
So
I'm sad Clarence had to drop out due to tech issues because he's just a great guy. He's so funny, and every time I see him out, we kind of pick on each other. And I was really wanting to say that the one thing I learned about him today is that he was once small. He referenced when he was small, and I just find that very difficult to believe.
He's a large man.
That's right.
that is true. Yes, when he was small. So Chris, let everybody know how they can reach out to you if they want to get more information about RVBA, or even just reach out to you for anything happening here in Rockwall.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so there's my email there, ChristopherScienceHolt@gmail.com. You can reach me there. It's my cell, 834-2531-318 area code. You can also reach me at Texas, or Christopher@TexasValorProject.org. That's another way to connect with me if you're looking to get involved with that nonprofit there. I reach out to me anytime, and I'm always willing and open to have a conversation and see how I can direct.
Absolutely. Any of our veterans be a great resource to reach out to you. Kayne, how can our listeners, our viewers reach you?
Sure thing. You can come by and see me at the bank. My office is in Heath, right by Standard Service, in that office building there, where a lot of people know it as the old Co-Create building. But I'm there most days. My email is kayne.pierce@b1bank.com. It's going across the screen there. Okay, take care of the spelling of my name. It's a little unusual. Or you can reach me by cell at 318-455-3572.
All right, so Kayne, I expect to see, since you're right by Standard Service, I expect to see you at Lakeside Leaders tomorrow. Starting
I'll probably stop by. Anytime there's an event at Standard Service, it's hard not to stop by.
Very good. Very good,
Right.
because I know Christopher will be there as well, right?
Yes,
So,
correct.
all right. Frank, how can anybody reach out to you as well?
You can call me at 469-769-1600 or email me at rockwall@minutemanpress.com. And we're right in the heart of Rockwall, right by Party City.
And Clarence, you were able to get back on.
This is not funny. This is not funny at all. I was about to make fun of Kayne. They're going, "Hey, you need a better computer, pay the bill or something," and mine totally shut down.
Didn't I say he was going to pick on me if he came back? I told you guys he was going to pick on me.
So I know I missed so much, but the big thing that I last picked up on was it's relationships, bottom line. We can do what we can say we're going to do. You were talking about someone coming to your rescue, Delisa. I can't tell you how many times just my network of folks who come to my assistance for something. And I know it sounds like cheap plugs or whatever, but like Total AV. I mean, Total AV. Not AV.
Black Level? Are you talking
No,
about?
not Black Level. Heating, air conditioning. Total. It's Ben Northcutt and
All Care Comfort Solutions.
All Care. I'm trying to get somebody else to keep plug.
Before too.
With the business here, we're
Yeah.
up and running. We took the place over. Next thing you know, we're experiencing excruciating heat because the system shut down. I make a phone call. It's the people around you that you have to depend on.
You're right.
But the biggest thing that I find in all of those businesses, though, is the leadership within the businesses that make it happen. These guys and gals are tried and true professionals, and that's what you need when you want to get the job done. You need someone that can take the reins and tell you, "Hey, don't worry, I got you," and have them complete the task that you really need at the time.
All right, CJ, real quick, because we are wrapping up. How can people get a hold of you?
You can reach me. Wow. Just ask Frank or Chris or Kate or yourself. At the bottom of the screen is streaming our contact information. The Compound Nevada. That's our phone number. That's get in touch, and that's an email. But the biggest thing is the main number here is 972-853-0602. If it goes bang, we teach it. The bottom line is providing you with safe ability to be able to utilize or learn the use of a firearm. With all the community involvement, the biggest thing is I'm sitting on city council, and there's an election coming up in 2025. With everything we talked about, with just the changing dynamics of the city, new items that we have to address, you need leadership. And I'm that leader that I know that I'm going to run for mayor in 2025. I know with the guidance and the blessing and the support of everyone there, we can make that happen like it happened once before. But the thing about with me is, don't ask me a question you don't want an answer to. And if you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it. We may agree, we may disagree, we may agree to disagree, but you have somebody that you can always count on here. So that's what I bring to the table.
You heard the big announcement. We're the first to hear Clarence Jorif is running for mayor of Rockwall. Very exciting. Thank you, Clarence, for sharing that with us. We're honored that you would want to share that news here on the Community Difference. Guys, we're out of time, so make sure that you join us next week. I'm Delisa Lapinsky. I'm your local realtor here with eXp Realty, and we will see you guys back here next Wednesday. Have a great day.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for watching
Thank you
today's
for the
show.
opportunity.
The Community Difference-Rockwall is brought to you in part by Alan Lester, loan officer with the One Group with Town Square Mortgage, Delisa Lapinsky with Lapinsky Realty Group, Frank McLeod with Minuteman Press, Kayne Pierce, Vice President and Commercial Banker for B1 Bank, Charles Barnaby with Barnaby Heating and Air, Brian Decker with Compass Facilities Consulting, and Josh Small with WeatherTech General Contracting.